all you do is introduce, and then we go at it, and then you jump in and say something dumb like,
you don't say the politically correct.
Like, yo, he shouldn't have came in there with dreads anyway.
He called it. You shouldn't have said that, because he's probably gonna say that.
No, I was not gonna say that. I am
team what? Young brothers.
Yes.
I'm not racist.
His coaches failed him.
His coaches, his teammates. We gonna get into that. His coaches, teammates failed him. Man.
I mean, I get his teammates though. I get it.
No.
I get it with them.
That's him. Like, and he's wearing what they told him.
They should have protested though.
Yeah, he's had dreads for.
Like, they all should have walked out.
Yeah, he had the Jones on. He had him covered.
But I don't understand like what he was supposed. Like what were his other options?
What are you talking
about? We're
gonna get into it. Hold on, we're gonna get into it. Let me.
First, I don't think anyone's have dreads. Fucking hairline gets pulled all the way back.
Really?
I'm just saying. I'll tell the world. Nah, I ain't gonna do that.
You ready to go?
Yes, sir.
We rolling.
We rolling, man.
Join in on the combo. Pull up.
Yeah, man. Pull up. Here we go. Microphone check. Hey, this is the world's most popular barbecue talk about the Stop Talk Man Cave conversation. However you like it or dislike it. This is the Heavyweight Champ of Sports Talk Podcast. This is your Opinionated Facts. These are your hosts. To my far right, we have the Donald Trump of Sports Talk Radio. Mr. Red with us back in the building.
I don't know what I said.
To his left, we have Dixon from behind the boards to in front of the boards. We got Dixon back in the building with us, also host of King's Court.
Yep.
To his left, we have the unforgettable, unrecognizable.
You can be unforgettable and unrecognizable at the same time.
Hold on,
as long as you don't call me Trump, we good.
Hold on, I have one something else. Unpredictable, Mr. Jacklison Ruiz.
I'm about to shut this whole podcast down.
And
like Trump shuts the government down.
Be proud of it. Be proud of it.
Just shut it all down.
And your host is back, D-Way, in the building. What's up, fellas? We back for another week. Opinionated Facts, week 21. And we're back in the building. How's everybody's week?
It feels like week 21. Like, not sure I want to be here right now.
I'm just tired. Putting together birthday parties for kids is
right before the holidays.
Hard thing, man. But glad
it looked like a good party though.
Oh, it was lit, man. That video game truck, I was on there. I shouldn't have been. I was on there playing, and I felt bad because some kids had to wait their turn. You know what I mean? I was giving out that work in Mortal Kombat, and I don't feel bad about it.
You weren't getting off the sticks.
Hell no, you had to beat me. to get on there, man, and that wasn't happening. So
I like that video of the dude working at the preschool. Every kid that was shooting the ball, he was punching.
Oh yeah.
I was doing the same exact thing, man. No mercy, man.
Just taking the whole party over.
Nah, because you had the game truck before. Like, you had 16, 18 other kids on there. Yeah. And, like, nah, you going to let me get off, and you got to beat me. I'll get up the stick if you beat me. That's all you had to do. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't really play fighting games and all that. So, like, if I would have got hopped on Madden or 2K, it's unfair. But it's fighting, and you hit the button, and that game's pretty gruesome, man. Like, I felt like you had little kids in there, and I was judging myself for letting them play it, but it is what it is. They didn't beat me.
So. I was about to say, you're talking about kids.
No mercy. Life don't care. Why should I? Like, I'm not gonna take it easy on you.
You can't be out here.
It was a life lesson. That's what it was, man.
You can't be out here beating little kids.
I never let my kids beat me.
Beating them and I was beating them and talking mess to them at the same time, man. So that made my night, and I feel better about myself.
That's terrible, man. Red, how was your weekend, man? How was your week?
My weekend was cool, man. Week was cool. Had off work and just did some last minute Christmas stuff, and I just got back from Poconos. My son's birthday. Just spent my son's birthday up there. Well, today's his actual birthday, so shout out to him. 10th birthday.
Hey. Little Red.
Little Red, yeah. So we're up there. Had a great time. It was actually reminded me of the video game. We were in the arcade. Oh, yeah. And he always go down to the he always goes to that machine where that little claw drops down, grabs something out.
Anybody win that?
Guy wins every time.
He
wins every time.
Yeah, a big toy too.
Like one time, and I don't know how he does it.
I'm 0 for like 3,000.
Yo, I'm telling you. So he goes down. He tells me exactly what ball to get. He says, "Go for this ball," and I'm like, I'm not listening to him. Like he's 9. He's not even 10 yet.
He's got a system. He's got a system.
He knew, yo. So I went and got one to this other ball. Didn't get it. He comes, gets the exact ball he told me to go for. What he went for. Picks it up. Drops it out. He's like, looked at me. Told you.
That's how we're feeling.
That's the vibe.
You know what?
That
happened because B-Way to give me my shout out today.
Stuff in the court.
It ain't personal.
Hold on, wait for your shout out, man. I'm telling a story. So he gets the ball, he drops it. I looked at me. He's like, "Oh, I told you. See, Dad, I told you. And you keep saying that." So I'm feeling away. So I'm like, I gotta get a ball.
I thought you played again.
I'll play it again. And then I let my youngest son play. He's playing. You know, it's one of those little swipe cards you got to swipe to do it.
Yeah.
I had to go re-up. At the machine because I was like, I'm not letting it go. Put $20 more on. Go back to the machine. Finally got it. Got the ball to come up. It comes over. It's lifting it over, and it's bringing it, and the damn thing just falls out. Hits the rim, bounces back into the jump. I was like, yo. So I spent another $20. Didn't get it. So done. Mad as hell. They didn't want to feed him or nothing.
I'm telling you, I'm like 0 for 3,000 on that thing, man. Like, it is bad.
Yeah, he wins every time, man. I don't know how he does it, but every single time. And I've never got lucky enough to get it. But it was a great weekend. We had fun.
Moving forward, we had this.
Oh, shout out to Dwayne behind the mic.
Hey, Dwayne on the boards too. Our producer, I forgot, man.
So, he gets lonely back there. He starts getting all emotional.
I like that. The pity. The pity shout out.
Before he didn't.
That's not pity at all. You're like the MVP on this.
On episode 10, he didn't want us to announce him at all. And then on episode 21, he talked. He got let him know I'm here. He didn't want none of that.
So, if you guys were paying attention to the news lately, we saw this wrestling referee make a black wrestler with dreadlocks cut his hair due to the hair being a disadvantage, and saying that the hair gave him an advantage, obviously, that he would win the match. So they said, you're either going to be disqualified or you're going to have to cut your hair. And they cut his hair. And he literally cut his hair before the match and went out and wrestled and won. How was this kid failed by so many people at this? Like, wrestling matches are like a big deal. Like, Dixon used to wrestle, right?
Yeah, I just got some information that he was warned during weigh-ins, and the headgear he had wasn't appropriate. So he was warned. So he refuted, like he's still going to challenge it. So that's why when he was getting his hair cut, he was in a submissive manner. He was beaten because he knew he was wrong. He wasn't fighting it, he was just kind of hanging his head because he knew he was wrong.
So the headgear you gotta wear when you got dreads is the full.
Yeah, like, you gotta have the whole thing
covered.
The wrap on. Like, he's been wrestling like this long into the season. Like, I'm sure he's been warned about it before.
Right, just grow dreads overnight.
Yeah, so it's like coaches failed him to a point.
He was in tears getting his dreads cut off though.
Like, and he didn't win.
You see he's in tears.
He didn't win anything after he won that match. Like, if you gotta lose your dignity and you don't.
I want to know who the white girl was that was cutting it. Because I wanted to. There's no way you could have got me to do that. Like, and if I was his parent, I'd have been even more like, well, I don't care what he said. Why? Like, why would you go and do it?
I wouldn't let it happen.
Oh no, it wouldn't have happened.
Who was wrong? Like, is it wrong because of the headgear? Is it a real disadvantage?
Yeah, it sucks. Like, when you have hair, like you get hair burn, like they rub it on your face. Like, you guys nod heads, you guys butt heads, and like it gets serious. Then you end up with like a rug burn. Seems like from people's hair.
Yeah.
So like with the dreads, like it is, and it's
Is it as big of a story as people were making it?
No,
it's a big story because it's a white referee and a black wrestler.
Yeah.
Like,
mind you, though, this referee has used.
He has issues. Yeah. Go ahead.
Hey.
Well, like, I don't know. I'm busy doing, like, if you want to go ahead, I'll weigh in when you're done.
I think if the fact that this guy never used the N-word to another black referee, we may not be having the conversation, was it racism? I mean, or it may not even be as big of a story, but it will still be a story regardless, because this kid had to cut his hair off. But I think because he had racial problem before, and now he made this black kid cut off his hair, I think that it wasn't just him. It wasn't just the referee. I mean, it was the school, his teammates. I mean, I'm not sure I'll let one of you guys go through that and not stand up and say, well, I won't wrestle then. I'm done.
As a coach, like my team, we're going to take the loss. And sometimes you just got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. And that's what happened. Like, it's a respect thing. Like, whether the kid, was wearing the right headgear, like, I didn't hear that.
I didn't know that.
He had it wrapped.
That is information.
Like, it's just...
Yeah, the ref was definitely wrong. Like, it's
the way it was handled. It was the way it was handled, and the ref to put it make a show.
So could the ref have said, you know what, I'm just gonna let it go. He's in high school, no big deal.
The ref could have waited, put it on injury timeout. They could have waited for him to get a headgear, and if the headgear wouldn't have came, the ref could have forfeited the match right then and there. The ref didn't like the amount of time it took to cut them dreads. Like compared to an injury time, it's takes way longer to cut the dreads.
Yeah.
An injury timeout, hey, you don't come back, you don't have it by the time the injury timeout's over. Match is forfeited, they win.
I mean,
you bring up a good point. So now I see the disadvantage of it when your face is getting rubbed against.
Yeah, you can't see, eye burn.
Yeah.
But it happens in boxing all the time. Not to this degree to where, like, boxers are told that because they do weigh-ins the day before. So you're told, hey, the ref feels that your beard is going to be a disadvantage because you get into close quarters with somebody, your beard rubs them the wrong way, could cut them. And in boxing, they make guys shave. You never seen somebody have to shave between rounds or the beginning of the fight, or like
they were warned ahead of time.
Right, but the only instance, Paulie Malignaggi, he went over to England for some reason. He felt it was right that he wanted to put hair extensions in. Don't know what, like in his head, I don't know what made him do it, but the hair extensions started coming out. So in between rounds, they had to cut the hair extensions off his head, and that's the only instance I can think of. That was just because he's at disadvantage because the hair kept getting in his face, but that was totally different. It wasn't the ref telling him to do that. Common sense told him to do that.
So the ref has a legit argument here so we can say that he's not a racist.
I don't know if that's an argument because that's the rule. He could have said yes, or he could have, like he said, gave him the injury timeout or whatever.
Fortunately, the cut his dreads was going way. I felt like he was going way over.
Does he deserve a lifetime ban?
Who, the ref?
Yes, they're saying he might.
No.
I know he's suspended. He got suspended for it already, but
I mean, he definitely went overboard. But I wouldn't say a lifetime ban. I felt like he just trying to.
I mean, I feel like he got away with using the N-word. He can get a lifetime ban. I don't think he'll ever. I mean, how many chances do you get?
He should have been done after that.
After the N-word, he should have been
done.
Yeah. So now he's back and he did this. So what is?
Well, what like? From what Dixon's explanation
makes you look at it different.
It does, and it makes me feel like he wasn't that wrong.
Like kid was being cocky. Like,
but as a parent, I'm like, yo, no, my son's not cutting his hair. We're out of here. We're walking. Like we're not fighting today.
Did you see his hair afterwards? It looked terrible too.
You go.
I mean, look at the cut. Like it was.
No, you can laugh. Why are you laughing about that? No, I don't mean it that way. Like you can laugh and it makes it seem like I'm being a jerk, and I'm not.
Listen,
like. But you watch the fight, like I watched the match and watch him win, and then he's done. He takes the headgear off. I was like, wow.
Last thing he cared about was winning that match. Like I think he did that in spite. They're like, oh, you can make me cut my hair. I gotta beat this kid now. So, but
if I was the other kid, I'd be mad. When you giving this guy another advantage, he's gonna be angry.
When you Google the guy's name, Alan Mahoney, this is the ref. First article that comes up is talking about a lifetime ban. Alan Mahoney, you're an idiot. Maloney. I'm sorry, you're an idiot. And it's just like, it is what it is at this point. And in this country, is it a teachable moment? I don't know at this point. This country, all these viral videos, whether everybody's always pulling their camera out. Like when you see all these videos of people like in New York, or like there's a lot of older white people that they'll stand by the door and be like, do you live here? And they want to check the black person, like yeah, I live here. Why don't I explain myself to you?
It don't become a story, though, until the person's black. They might do it to everybody. We don't know.
But everything becomes a viral moment, and we want to get disgusted in the moment, but nothing changes. Like, we can't change. Like, this is generations and generations of Mr. Maloney thinking that, he's in a position of power. It's how you use your power. Like, not everything can be like I wouldn't even have it in me to tell a kid to cut his hair, even if it's dreads or whatever. Like, this is a high school wrestling match. Like, we're not gonna. This kid's been growing out his hair for years, and who are you to say he has to cut it? Like, that's the only thing. But it becomes an issue because it's a white guy, older white guy telling a young black kid that his hair it's not suitable for what he wants to do. When the ref last week didn't have a problem with it, and I'm assuming he's wearing the same headgear because, like, why would he switch up headgear? And
that ref was now that they're like with the backstory on him saying the N-word, like, yo, he definitely was using his power, like, for race. Like, there's no question about it. Any other ref that who doesn't feel that way would have gave that injury time out, but him telling him that you got to cut your hair or you're done.
Well, it's like it just goes deeper than Mr. Maloney and the wrestling coach that allowed it to happen, New Jersey. Like, it's deeper, and it's just as a country we're heading down this rabbit hole, and it's like it starts at the top. Like, it's just getting worse because everything gets documented, and we're sitting here, and everybody talks about it. In a week or two, it'll be another story.
Week, like 2-3 days.
Yeah. Just but it's just
like it's a big, like, when we talk about like that hierarchy of power with race that comes into play. Like this, it's. But go ahead.
Not to cut you off. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to transition to another subject, but it's just what LeBron said. Like, the slave mentality, slave owner mentality.
Yeah. That
some people never grow out of. And then, I mean, in the hierarchy of things, Mr. Maloney is not. He's a high school referee. I don't know what he does. If he does that for a living, or if he has another job and he does that on the side. When you have billionaires, like NFL owners, that feel that they own that's their property, and they can whatever they feel they say is gonna happen. Like,
you don't feel that was a little unfair for LeBron to categorize all 32 owners as that?
I don't know the exact quote, but from Dr. Martin Luther King, he's like, if you stand aside in a time of turmoil, like you're just as bad as the person that's doing it.
Well, what about the people that
if you don't call
are
people
donating money to these causes?
But they're not calling out the bullshit that other people are doing.
No, they may not have the same view on it that LeBron has on it.
But,
like, if
we all have different views. We have different views on the Kaepernick situation.
I feel though, if a white guy is not standing up and saying that another white guy is racist, then he's still racist too.
All 32 NFL owners aren't white though.
The only one I can think of is Jacksonville. Who else?
Got to get rid of him, man. He's trying to take him to England.
Right. Well, I think they want that. No, they want that.
They love it over there.
Can you name another one?
I can't name another one. I know I knew all 32.
I think
when I said that, I pictured the Jacksonville owner. So in my defense,
it's a female owner, but I think it's because her husband passed. I want to say either the Titans owner,
right? Titans owner.
So,
but she's white too. She's 85 years old or something.
Right.
Honestly, it is a mentality.
And that's what it comes down to. I think
we need a stats guy, man. Look that up. How many NFL owners are not white?
We just named them.
No,
we only know one off the top of our head. But and that was the one. So when I said all 32, I said the one I was thinking about. But is there another one? I know there's no African Americans.
Owners that have stood up. They have the Art Rooney rule for a reason, because he stood up. Like, whether you
Art
had
was a brother, yo.
Huh?
Art, everything he did was like motivated towards
helping out
black people, minorities. Let's say minorities, but
and Al Davis was very,
Yeah, that's what it has to be. Like, it has to be a white guy calling out a white guy for being racist.
But LeBron,
that's what I'm saying.
LeBron calling them out is also, I mean, it's not on the same level as a white person doing it, but somebody of LeBron's stature doesn't have to talk about these things.
But then LeBron also is on that same show. There's some things that he talks about or says that we don't agree with.
Right.
Like, he uses the N-word very frequently on this show. And like as we were saying, his stature. Like, how serious are people taking him?
Well, the shop. The shop on
HBO.
On HBO, LeBron uses the N-word very loosely. And
which I never knew until I watched the show that he was using it that much. Like,
oh no, it's like every other word.
Oh my, it's crazy.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking.
But he wants to add to that unfiltered LeBron. Like,
I don't be unfiltered. We're unfiltered, and we don't use it on here.
Oh no, I get it. It just doesn't come out. Like, but I'm not going to judge the next person for using it because you feel that he has to walk and talk a certain way. Not you. I'm saying in general, like you're not gonna see Michael Jordan, you're not gonna see Kobe Bryant, nigga this, nigga that. So I get it, but they always want to portray a certain persona.
I mean, I don't really care. I know Mike probably don't use it, but Mike reminds me
He
a
uses it
lot
like
of
a millionaire though.
Michael Jordan reminds me a lot of Robert Griffin. Like he's not.
He's a corny.
Yeah,
He's a corny
a
guy,
little
but
different.
No, but I don't care if Mike uses it, but it's the platform of using it in public around people, like when you're on camera or when you're like in front of a public platform where people are watching you. Who's LeBron's biggest fans? It's kids. Kids are looking at this.
That's the issue.
And if kids see LeBron doing it, then they think, okay, then it's okay to do it. LeBron does it. Like he has a bigger impact on the world than he thinks. And like he puts his kids in these private schools, and he probably don't. Where they'll probably learn, or they're taught how to speak in front of, public people. But in the inner city, when these parents are out here, and this is where LeBron came from, like our kids are not being taught that. So they're watching TV and they're watching YouTube and they're seeing him talk like that and they're seeing things like this. So then he's being looked at as the guy who says this, so we can say it too. So then kids are talking like this too, and then who's got to be responsible for it? Like adults and teachers. Now we're out here like, no, you can't say the N-word. They're like, well, I'm not listening to you. LeBron does it. So like,
and that's the bad thing. Like LeBron, he just opened up that school in Ohio, and those people that go to that school, they're probably watching this. I mean, granted, HBO is a paid television network. You have to have it. So I guess maybe his thought is a lot of people aren't maybe seeing it. Like kids aren't really watching it. But if it's LeBron, and kids are going to want to know. Kids are going to want to see that. So the language, I think, I don't want to tell anyone how to speak. I mean, it's your First Amendment right.
Not you, but when
I think he's not conscious of the impact it's going to have on some certain people. Because certain people, like even older, African American people, don't use the word or don't want to even hear it. And they're also fans of LeBron.
Can we own the word though? Like we talked about it on King's Court. Like the word comes from Ethiopia, like Negus. That comes from Ethiopia, and it means king. All right, when it originally came from Ethiopia, the people that heard it, the slave traders, they changed it. They put their own, the way they said it, the way they pronunciated it. They made fun of it. So that's where they got nigger out of it. All right, so by us saying niggas, are we owning it? By using it like with we're around the select people with minorities, black men, I'm saying nigga, I'm calling you what up, nigga, this and that. Am I calling you owning it, calling you a king? Because where
But if you look it up in the dictionary, what does it mean over here?
Stay.
With the ER thing.
Oh, with the ER, but we don't say that.
No one says ER.
That's the thing.
That's where we got it from.
No, you're right, but we use that as a term of endearment. Like I use it. It's like as I get older, it just doesn't come out. But I'm not judging people for using it. The music I listen to uses it. And it's not something where I'm going to stop listening to the music because that word is used. It's always like the ref in Jersey. Like it's how you do things and how it's used. Like you don't want to hear certain people use that word. But or how I could say it and offend you if I used it the wrong way.
Before I knew you were Puerto Rican, I didn't mind. Now I'm not against it.
But if I use I can use a lot of words in a disrespectful way that aren't really disrespectful. But if I use it, you can probably feel disrespectful if I call you a buffoon.
Honestly, that's the only word you can call any race and they'll get offended.
Right.
As a teacher, like when I was younger, my younger years as a teacher, like I taught in the inner city first, and I heard that word from us, and it didn't really. I let it ride. Like it was like I didn't correct it. Like you know what I mean. So I went out to teach at an all-white district in South Suburbia, and you hear that word used by white kids joking around with each other, and then you see black kids using it too out in their culture, and you're like, nah, this just ain't right. Like no, like we're saying this too loosely, like because you never really experienced it around people that like. Until I started teaching out there in that white area, every white person I've been around wanted to be around black people or prepared themselves to be around minorities. When you enter their world, it's a little different. So like being out there and hearing that stuff, and then you hear like black folks saying it out there around each other, and you're like, nah, like it's not. It just made you cringe, like, cause now this is what they think of us, like, cause they're not around us every day. So what do they see? They see us on TV, they see us on rap videos, and they see us in sports, and then you're like, like it's just the way they used it so loosely. I was like, nah, I can't allow this no more. So now, I couldn't last out there too long, so I went back and started teaching in the inner city, but now every time I hear it, black whoever, like I'm stopping it right away. It's not allowed in my classroom. It's not allowed on my sports teams. Like, nah, we're going to use a better word. And like, if it means kings, call us kings. Like that's what I say to my students when they come in. Like, hey, young king, how you doing today? Young queen, how you doing today? That's how we got to talk to them. Like, let's keep it there. I think Brian came up that way, and he's still that way, but like he's not seeing the effects of it because he's so far removed from it, and it's just hard. It's harder for him. He don't, you know what I mean? Like, you don't. He says he can go back to Akron, but he ain't really going back to like Akron. Yeah. He ain't really going back to his
got a security team.
Yeah.
I don't know where I first heard the word. I know I started using it at a young age. I remember
coming up, that's how you use it.
Walking into history class, and that history teacher, he was a black teacher. We all know him. He's a black teacher, and we were cool. We talk sports every day. Like that's my guy. And I'm thinking, I don't separate the two, but I'm like 12 or 13. So one day I'm walking up, going to his class. I know we're going to talk sports and stuff, and I reach my hand out to shake his hand like I do every time I walk into class. So what up, my nigga? What up, my nigga?
To a teacher.
And he as a black teacher, he froze up. Like, I'm like, and I knew right away I messed up. This guy he didn't send me to ISS. Like, he didn't send me, didn't write me no pass to ISS. He pushed me out the door and said, don't come to my class so you know how to talk to me. Shut the door. For a whole week, this guy would not let me in his class. For a week, he wouldn't give me a pass. I'm just roaming around, what am I supposed to do? He would not let me in his class. He said, until you let him talk to me. The following week, he let me back in. And it was like, and ever since then, I've never used that word to somebody ever, like an adult. I never used it to an adult ever again after that. You got a comment?
Oh, we had a lot of comments. I'm sorry, we got lost on the tangent there. But I mean, as far as
let's do the credit lab before.
All right, before we get to the comments, let's go and talk about our credit lab. If anyone is in need of credit repair, building credit, business loans, counseling, contact the credit lab in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Contact us for a free consultation at www.thecreditlab.com. You can follow the Facebook page at The Credit Lab, or you can call 717-509-8899. And if you mention you heard of them from the Opinionated Facts Podcast, you get $50 off your credit referral and credit fee, startup fee. So make sure that you guys definitely check them out if you're in need of credit repair. So let's get to the comments here. What are some of the comments that we got?
I thought they were just having a convo with themselves, man. Like, I don't, it's just the same three people commenting. Like, Ray Serrano said that he doesn't feel that the ref was a racist. He was just,
doing a job.
No, he was a POS, piece of, like, you can't really.
Owner? He's black?
No, Packers are owned by the city.
The city, yeah. But not a lot of black people in Wisconsin. They don't play for the Packers. They don't play for the Packers or Bucks or Brewers. So, I mean, does that count? I don't know. But, I mean, outside of that, they were just talking about.
I think you're terrible at reading comments.
I'm not here to read comments, man.
Check this real quick, buddy. May not read it either. I just want to see.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Moving forward, we covered LeBron. Well, we didn't cover his comments on the NFL owners.
And Troy Richardson said about if you hold anyone accountable overall, it's his coaches.
Right.
Which I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. First of all, I mean, if his parents weren't there, it's definitely coaches.
Troy wants to know if we're going to respond to his comments.
That's why I responded.
Hey, we just responded to one, man.
It's tough, man. We don't see it. We don't always see him though either.
Yes. So
Joseph Pagan, I think that's my frat brother. Nice to see you, bro.
But yeah, I think his coaches definitely failed him. But at that time, I don't know if coaches I don't know about his situation, but coaches are there to stick up for their players and not let people take advantage of them. And I don't know if this coach was more worried about his wins or the win for the meet, or
of course he is, because
or his actual players' rights.
Coaches care. Most coaches are there, not for the paycheck, but like if you don't win, you're gonna get fired. So I don't know.
Not in high school.
I'm about to say it's high school, man. Like I don't.
Not
like,
in high school.
I'm definitely not letting any of like the girls I coach on the basketball team like do something that they don't want to do.
Look, imagine imagine you go see Aiden.
Right.
Do whatever. Play basketball. He was in wrestling at one point, and that ref told him, "We gotta give you a buzz cut
right now."
Right now, and maybe you're not there yet. You're on your way.
Oh no, it's a problem.
And then he buzzed that joint because he was just like, "Look, just do it." And you get there and see this guy ain't got no hair.
With no kind of shape up here.
I'm gonna cry.
No kind of shit.
Like I'm literally gonna cry first.
Oh,
but he's gonna pay.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know who this guy's parents are or whatever, but I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I don't know if I can be held accountable for my actions.
I was talking
his parents probably weren't there because
his parents.
We don't know the situation on that. We don't know the situation on his parents, and we can't. I don't want to speak on that because I don't know what his parents' intentions were. The story got out there,
and it's.
I was talking to my boy yesterday, and he said if that was his kid and he was at that meet, like the story would have been different because you would have saw him coming out the stands, running down like the water boy, and just tackling the ref and going to work on him. Because like you're not just gonna embarrass my son. So I make him do something he don't want to do. Like
took my son and walked off. That would have been the end of it. But coach, you lost his match.
The story would have been different. Like it would have been me acting a fool trying to smack a referee.
The only person not at fault here is the kid. He did something he didn't want to do. I commend him because a lot of kids would have for whatever reason he decided to put the team in front of him. How many years he decided to grow his hair out? Like some people, that's like religious to them. Like that's your hair. Like I've never had dreads, or like some people that's like other people treat religion. So like if the kid decided he was okay with it, he wasn't really okay with it because you could see that look in his eye. He just felt like, why me? And it sucks, but I mean, moving forward, it's just like a lot of people failed that kid, and I mean, we get disgusted by it because every other day there's a video. There's a video online, like whether it's a cop, whether it's just a person of quote unquote power feeling that they going to use it on you, but it's depressing to a certain point. Like you try to read up on every story because ignorance isn't bliss.
Yeah.
So like you try to read up on every story, watch every video, but nothing changes and it only gets worse. But more comments. Back to the LeBron. We got Tim Goodson out there listening. What up, Tim? He said he loves Bron's comments. He loves how he speaks free on the shop. His opinion.
His opinion.
His opinion.
This is not.
Speaking of LeBron, then let's dive into his comments about the NFL owners and comparing them to slave owners.
Let's get the exact quote. If I can pull it up real quick. Do you have the exact quote?
I don't have the exact quote. I just know he was on the show with Todd Gurley, right? They were talking about it, which Todd Gurley agreed with him, and he plays in the NFL.
Yes.
That's a shot at his own owner.
And might be looking for a job.
He's too talented. When you're that talented, you can get away with saying stuff like that. I mean, maybe they pull you in the office or something, but Todd Gurley can get away with saying it. He's just that talented.
Why is
that?
Basically because of the talent. Because he's talented.
Basically, LeBron said that
anybody else say it? Like, say it was someone that was on the practice squad. He's probably on
because that slave mentality.
Yeah,
because there it is right there. Though.
The one practice squad Cowboys player, they got cut for kneeling. You want to talk about that?
I respect it.
I don't even know who it was.
You remember as a linebacker.
I remember it though, yeah.
But LeBron's comment basically was that you have, for the 30, whatever the number is, NFL owners that are white, old white. Well, no, that are white. Old white guys that have that slave owner mentality, and it's going to take the players realizing their power. Not all of them, without, like he said, he mentioned Beckham and Gurley, because Gurley was on the show, and just realizing their power. He's like, the NBA is a very forward-thinking, what are you going to call it, organization, association, whatever they are. They're very forward-thinking today. Everybody loves the way that an NBA commissioner lets these players say and do whatever they want. Mm-hmm. It wasn't always that way.
Adam Silver came in and he does a hell of a job. Like,
It
everything
changed.
he lets the players do, and he's phenomenal. I think.
Yeah, but they all have that.
What
mentality.
year was it?
Like we saw, like Jack was talking about earlier. Like we can't forget about the Clippers owner, the one they got up out of there because his comments. Like a lot of them feel that way, they just don't say it.
They don't get drunk and get.
Yeah.
But, like,
man. It's hard to say that though.
What
Like,
was
how
it,
can you
98?
say that?
98 when the Spurs won the strike short season. Was that 98, 97?
Well, I don't know the year of that.
What year? That was
Well, whatever season that was, that's when it started changing in the NBA. Guys that David Stern thought that these guys are going to take whatever I give them. They're not going to lose games. That's money. You're losing money. What the players do? They're like, we got money saved up. We don't need to adhere to whatever you give us. You're going to give us what we want. So ever since then, the NBA has been moving forward like that. The players control. That's the best players union in all the sports, in my opinion. They have. It just is because they want something, they get it, and the NFL, total opposite, the worst, outdated. Like it goes to the Josh Gordon situation, like where a lot of the stuff in the NFL is outdated. Like where they rather have you hopped up on painkillers than smoking weed, or not smoking weed, just using THC because that's the mentality of old people in general. Think you're just in the corner smoking weed and you're gonna become undisciplined and you're gonna start shooting heroin next week.
They grew up in
It's a gateway drug.
They came up in the Reagan era during like the big
Oh,
fight
the
war on drugs.
Yeah. So
I
they
don't know if
think
I agree with Josh Gordon leading that your NFL comment. Like,
no, I'm using him as an example because
I get it, but
if
Josh
I
Gordon's
was-
not the one to use.
No. If I was using my body to make a living and I'm in pain, if weed,
You think Josh Gordon smokes weed because he's in pain?
I don't know why he smokes weed. You got mental. You got.
Do you think he does drugs because he's in pain?
And then Ricky Williams did it because he was in pain.
No, you see Ricky, he
I don't know
loved
where
it.
he's from. He's from Texas, right?
Who?
Gordon. He went to Baylor. I think he's from Texas. Don't quote me on that.
I thought he was from Ohio, from Cleveland.
Anyway,
Well,
hold on, before you go there. Back to the slave owners comment before we dive.
Okay.
Before we dive into Josh Gordon.
I think it goes without saying. So
I
it's
think
kind
the
of like
slave owner. I think LeBron was accurate. Like I think his.
it's hard to put all of them in there, but more than
if
not.
you stand by him, I'm putting you next.
No,
to
I
him.
said that. I'm the one that said it. So like,
yeah. So it comes to the point where that mentality, if you're thinking that way,
Well, what do you do?
what do you mean?
You don't need 100% of the vote as NFL owners.
So what?
Not every owner has to agree for it to pass.
So what question are you
75%.
at?
What I'm saying is, just like the players union, they don't all agree on the same things. They may not all agree to strike. They don't have to be 100% of that vote.
No,
It
but
just
like
goes
the
majority. If
is
majority wins, just because you're saying like I'm an NFL owner and that's what they passed. Maybe that person didn't vote for it. How can you say he stands for that?
if you disagree with the stance in the NFL
So
or
you
something.
should come out and what?
No, I'm saying when that happens though, or you fight for anything, you get shunned, like boycott, like you're not allowed to have a say in anything you do. So if you take a knee, then we're gonna get rid of you.
There's guys still taking knees.
Not really.
Jerry Jones, I love my Cowboys, but I think Jerry Jones is. I think he has plantation.
Oh,
he
that
does.
goes
He
without
has.
saying. He's the number one on that.
At the same time, though, like if you buck back against the NFL, like he's bucking back against the rule on marijuana, because a lot of our Cowboys players are defensive ends. With Randy Gregory, he can't stay on the field, But his reasons for pain and whatever. And when Jerry tried to buck up against the system, you see they're ready to find it. Well, he did it with Zeke Elliott. They're ready to find him and like talking about taking his team away. Remember them rumors?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what leg does any NFL owner have to stand on if Jerry Jones can't even do it?
Is the NFL responsible for Eric Reed being tested 7 times?
They definitely
seven
are.
random times?
7 out of 11 games. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's the thing with the NFL; they don't hide it no more. And like us as fans, we're just put in a bad. It's like cause
Maybe he's getting random. Is it random? With
When
him?
did he sign? Like he signed
no,
like late.
it's
in the
7
season.
out of 11 games. He's played 11 games.
That's a joke, man.
computer
It is a
doesn't-
joke.
There's no way your name's coming up on that computer list.
Yeah, I would
Generated
love, like, I respect and I love everybody that's, like, my minorities that should stop watching NFL. I love it. I wish I could do it too. But, like, the
I
way they
boycott-
treat people is wrong, man.
I boycott.
Maybe it is
the wrong
random.
way.
I don't know.
It's
Maybe.
not random, man. No
I've
such
been in my
thing.
Maybe it's
job.
random.
I've been with my company
Trying to
for.
find something right with it.
I've been with my company for 10 years. Yeah. We have random. I've been random one time since I've been there.
So
10
do the
years.
math.
There's another guy.
That's
There's
11
another
weeks.
guy though that's been there, and he's been random 7 times in the last 7 years.
I give him the wrong vibe.
Is he black?
No, he's white. He's white.
Listen, I'm in the
He's white.
in the army. Like prior, I've been tested. Probably, I don't know, like 7 years out of the first total of 10 years I was in. I was tested 7 years every month that I went. I was tested every month for 7 years.
And what happened?
And this was a random list. I never popped out. This was a random list.
And if you test positive, what happens? They throw you out?
I get booted out. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yo, listen, we'll talk about that after.
Like
I'm still in right now. I gotta wait till I get out to really let stuff out.
It's like, NFL's terrible, man. Like, we gotta. I don't know
It's
why.
not terrible enough for me to stop watching. I'm judging. Like, I boycotted my own way because I only watch Eagles games. Is that a boycott?
No, it's not a boycott.
It's kind of a boycott, man. I used to watch the 1 o'clock, the 4 o'clock, the 8, the Monday night. I only watch Eagles games now. It's kind of a boycott. I'm standing strong.
It's a half-ass boycott like you always do.
But I own
When I
it.
boycott. I didn't boycott anything recently.
No, you don't boycott anything. You just say you're going to, and it's a half-ass
When I
boycott.
boycott, a boycott.
Oh, okay.
You boycotted for like a week and you came
You
back.
didn't boycott Kanye West like you said you were going to.
I still listen to Kanye West album.
Exactly.
You said you were going to boycott him.
Then he put
Yeah,
out
I
a joint
didn't
with
listen to
Nas
him.
and you were like, oh, boycott over.
No.
Yes. You said I'm not listening. Nothing has to do with Kanye. That's what you said.
Nas was rapping. I can't
It was
knock
a
Nas album.
Kanye produced album.
All right, I listened to the Nas project. I'm sorry, I didn't boycott Nas.
You didn't boycott
Kanye.
anything.
Speaking of
I
rappers,
still listen to Kanye.
You didn't boycott
there's nothing
anything.
to listen to, man, because you want to listen to good music. That's not the route to go right now. But let's talk about rappers, man. Meek Mill said on, was it Trauma? I don't know what song on the album. He said about that people had PTSD. If you grew up in the hood, you grew up around violence. Yeah. You think Josh Gordon? If he grew up in that,
Josh Gordon.
He just wants to smoke his weed, right? It's just that's that simple, right? Millions of dollars on the line. I'm just gonna smoke weed, right? There has to be a reason.
Some people just got issues.
He has issues.
Like, I don't think it's mental health issues. I think I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But
if I put $1 million right in front of you right now and say, yo, all you can do to not get that is you can't smoke weed. You'd be okay with it, right?
Some of the things, I've never smoked weed before.
But
so I'd be easy for me.
Yeah. You can't smoke weed, you can't drink liquor, you can't do nothing. Not that they test for alcohol and all that, but you can't do nothing.
You give me the million, I'd probably still try to have a little taste of it, like a little shot.
Nah, they testing you every day. You got to wear that
I'm going
wristband.
to take that. Like, I take the risk. Like, I ain't going to be in there in 8 hours.
You taking a shot for...
Risking. You're risking
a shot.
Not alcoholic. I mean, I don't really drink either. But I'm saying, if I see why he would do it. But I'm saying now, after all these times that Josh Gordon's been suspended, he's just now saying he got mental health problems.
That's because he knew he popped top.
But he knew this guy was getting in trouble. This guy's been getting in trouble since college.
He's been saying he had mental health problems.
I'm talking about
no,
the day before
he did not.
Suspended.
He didn't start saying he had mental health issues until they were about to boot him out of the league. He was like, I'm gonna step away from the the and get my mental health right.
Yeah, that was one of them.
Listen,
you can't
so
find
did
me,
Ricky
I
Williams.
Listen,
and he was still smoking weed.
I work with real mental health type people. Like, it's a real thing.
It is.
I think it is with some people. Is it with Josh Gordon?
You
You know that the Patriots assigned a whole entire security team to this guy just to keep him out of trouble? You know what happened? You didn't even know the story? What happened was, on their bye week, November 18th, Josh Gordon somehow eluded them. He figured out a way to get rid of them. He figured out a way to slip out when they didn't see. And they think he went off and did something.
He just went on a binge.
He just went off and did something.
Smoked like a whole.
They lost him. An NFL security team lost an NFL player.
Well, that's not
somewhere.
the first time the Cowboys did that to Dez.
They had a guy follow this guy. They had people on this guy every day, no matter where he went, eat, sleep, whatever. They were on him.
Some people gonna sabotage themselves, man, and
So,
weed is a way of sabotaging.
Did the Patriots care that much about his well-being, or they knew what kind of asset he was?
They care about the
how
product.
his talent.
They'd rather have him chase oxys.
Right.
They'd rather have him hunt them down and stuff.
I'm just saying, man. Like, mental health is a disease, and if you
But I
can't
feel
beat it, like it's hard to beat.
in 2018, there's a lot of overdiagnosing.
What mental health issue does he have, though? They never came out and said he's bipolar or he's on medication for this or whatever.
You remember growing up, man?
What mental health issue does he have?
He don't got to release that information.
Yeah, you don't.
If he talks about he has a mental health problem,
It's like
he needs to release the information of what mental health problem he has.
If I tell you I'm sick, I gotta tell you.
Yes, I need to know if you got AIDS. Yes.
No.
Yeah, don't tell me you're sick then. What do you mean you're sick? You got a cough? You got the stomach virus?
No,
you're not sick.
I'm not telling
that's
you.
That's not being. What do you mean you're sick?
I'm not telling the world I got AIDS. I'm just gonna tell you I'm sick or something.
Don't tell me. First of all, don't do that. Don't tell me you're sick. Charlie Harper. Charlie. Nah, I said Harper. Charlie Sheen didn't go on Today's Show and say he was sick.
Nah, them girls.
He went out to release that information. What did he do? Yeah, I got HIV.
Look,
HIV positive.
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen's sick, man.
He's not sick.
No, I'm saying he's sick. Well, I'm talking about he's sick in the head too. Like he's a sick individual.
Mental health issues, right? That's what we're chalking it up to now. No, everything is mental health problems.
No, you're making a joke out of it, man.
I'm not making a joke out of it. I believe people really do suffer from certain things mentally. I think we all do at some point. Like my upbringing was different from your upbringing. Your upbringing that might do certain things to me that may not affect y'all at all.
Charlie Sheen's not one of those.
But guys. I don't know. Is that a mental health issue? Do I have a mental health problem because I have a certain mentality towards certain things that you may not because of the way we were brought up?
Yes. Like,
I suffer from PTSD and TBI and
you were fighting in Iraq.
Bro, I was issued pills though. They issued me pills and where I would drool out of my mouth. Like I would sit there and I would drool though.
I understand that.
All right, so like,
who wants to do that?
I'm sure they're issuing the same medication to these NFL players.
We don't do that.
You know, so like,
we don't.
I ain't gonna hold you. Like
don't.
I tried it. I smoked. So when I smoke, I'm more calm. I can still function.
Yeah.
I eat a lot more. You know, I might eat the munchies every now and then, but that's not even all the time. But weed doesn't make you a dumb person. It doesn't make you a bad person.
Not at all.
Like you compare marijuana to alcohol, which one's worse?
This guy had more than weed in his system.
Oh, no,
no one's releasing that information.
No, the NFL tried to put that out there, and then they won't put out what drugs. So it's kind of like we're gonna.
But it was more than marijuana. Either way, he knows the rules, especially him. He's already on the watch.
Right.
He gets random no matter what. He's in his own little pool where he automatically gets random. He knows it's going to come every week damn there.
It's going to take the NBA switching it over.
Lawrence Taylor would be in the NFL. Would be in the Hall of Fame if they did it like they do Josh Gordon.
It was different back then, though. They were just pumping drugs into you at that time.
It still doesn't make it right.
It's not the same.
They still give them Toradol shots and all that, man. Like NFL is just it's a double standard league, and it always shines. They don't hide it though.
They say if you have mental health issues, but you're being medicated, then you're usually able to operate, function.
Using Kanye as an example, right? He went on his Twitter rant.
And he's off his meds.
That's
when
not
Kanye
the point.
goes off,
that's
he's
not
off
the
his
point.
meds.
He tells you he's bipolar, right? So that's fine. Like, okay, he says something off the cuff, something that rude, and people call him out on it. I'm bipolar. Like, no, you can still call somebody out for what they say and what they do. You don't hide behind your illness. You don't just say, hey, I'm bipolar. Crazy don't know that they're crazy sometimes. Most times.
Well, so I understand if they're medicated, they know.
That's what I'm saying. That's like somebody just doing something real messed up to you and you just, oh, I'm crazy. You gotta live with it.
No, I already got it. Like when I do something crazy, so like say my wife acts up or something, I do something crazy, I already got it. I got that. What's the football one? You get hit in the head a couple times? I got that. All right. Yeah. So if I ever do something crazy, like that's my go-to.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But they're gonna find out once you die. I'll cut you up and find out.
So what? I'm fighting it while I'm alive.
And they're gonna be like, no, he don't have it.
Get me out of jail. I got CTE.
I think you got CTE because you said
I'm going on record right now, on the live on the Opinionated Facts show. The host B-Way has CTE. So if I do anything crazy, I'm sick. Okay, I'm a sick individual.
You said Sheik had the best verse on All About the Benjamin, so that proved it to me. You said LeBron and Wade aren't in your top 5 duos of all time. That proved it to me too. So yeah, I agree.
Sheik did have the best verse on.
He includes Biggie on that too. That's the thing.
Oh boy.
Well, we just listened to it. Big did bring it.
Tired when you say stuff like that.
Top 5. No, they're not. Like D Wade and LeBron under
because they're run.
Whoa! Time out.
Whoa. Championships.
Yeah, I said it.
4 NBA finals appearances. And 2 championships, and they underachieved according to what standards?
Look, LeBron standard.
No, LeBron wasn't there.
Not 2.
LeBron wasn't there for 7 years or 8 years. That's what he was. He was there for 4 years.
He couldn't handle it.
He couldn't handle it. Look, that was the thing with LeBron.
Couldn't handle what?
And look, you guys are getting me on this LeBron thing right now, and I'm like, I literally was watching LeBron. I watched every Lakers game now, and like I'm looking at this guy, and I'm looking at him for the first time, and I'm thinking, yeah, I can see how people call him the greatest. And then you guys are gonna want to. Now I gotta bash him.
Who bash him?
You ain't gotta bash him.
More times than not.
Right, so with this being said, I'm not like hating on LeBron because LeBron is wearing the purple and gold. He's the real deal. But him and D Wade underachieved are not a top 5 duo of all time.
How did they underachieve?
And I said Steph and
They were
Durant
together
are
for
better.
4 years.
Steph and Clay are a better duo than them.
Steph and Durant is a
Durant?
Yes, is a better duo.
Wow.
Who thinks of them as a duo?
Why would you
Nobody.
not?
Because they're an all-star team.
That's a team. That's not a duo. Like, it's,
How would you not say Steph and Durant are a better duo?
If you want to say Steph and Clay? They call them the Splash Brothers and all that for a
Well,
reason.
you know Steph and Clay, they have an argument too, but they're not. Like,
No,
the best.
and what are you? Where?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking
They
about?
won more titles. They won more titles than
Who?
LeBron,
Okay.
Steph and Clay.
So
No, by themselves they won 2.
No, they didn't.
It is.
No, Durant won 2. Durant and Steph won 2. Steph and Clay won 3.
No, first of
You
all,
attribute
it's no longer a duo. They added Kevin Durant.
yeah, you can't say it's
What
a
the hell are you
duo.
talking about,
I'm
man?
just saying. You're saying that. I didn't say Steph
No,
and Clay.
I'm done.
I said Steph.
I'm done with-
I
I'm
said
done with
Steph
it.
and Durant is a better.
You're right.
They are.
They're not a duo. Like,
They're gonna
they
have-
just don't go.
They average more points. They average more wins. They're going to have more championships.
You know what? You're
It's
right.
just 2
Durant-
all-stars
Brady-
playing on
okay,
the same
okay.
team.
How long have Steph and Clay been together?
A long time.
Yeah.
And they got 3 chips.
Yes.
But they've been together 9 years? 8
I'm
years?
not saying.
8 years.
Listen,
8 years?
I'm not saying Steph and
Hold
Clay
on,
is
no.
better.
You've been together 8 years. They got 3 chips. We talked about this yesterday.
Listen, I'm not saying Steph and Clay is better. I'm saying they have an argument, but I'm saying they're
What?
not better.
How?
I'm
How do they have an argument?
I'm saying Steph and Durant is
babe.
better.
Who's the best duo of all time, then? If you attribute the championships, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can go.
Like, no. Yeah, since this was your idea. Who's the best duo? Yeah, not top 5. Who's the best? There's got to be a number 1.
Jordan Pippen.
Jordan Pippen.
Okay.
I would go Bill Russell, whoever the hell
Even
he
though I
played
think
with.
Pippen.
I go Stockton
You
Malone.
go Bill Russell, whoever the hell he played with, because he had 11 rings. So whoever he played with, the
Whatever
second best
janitor-
guy on
whatever
that.
janitor he
Yeah,
played
whatever
with.
janitor was on his team, that's who we're
Yeah.
going with. Bill Russell and whoever that guy
Well,
was.
hold on. Like I'm in another frame. I think Scottie Pippen is highly overrated.
No, he
But-
changed the game, man.
I think that him playing with Mike, you had to put him as a number 2, and Mike. That
What?
goes
6'8",
the best.
6'9", running
I
point.
couldn't win a chip without Scott.
Yeah.
We're going to go John
playing
Starks
defense.
next. John Starks and Patrick Ewing.
John,
Best duo of all time.
Jordan and Pippen not the best.
No.
I'm not mad at that one. I'm still on the Steph
When
thing.
he
Like, I'm
said-
still
no,
mad
no.
about that.
Stephen Durant is better than D Wade and
He said they're not
LeBron.
top 5.
Duncan.
Huh?
He said that LeBron and Wade aren't top 5. That's where I'm like, I can't think of
Who's
4
the
better.
top
make-
5?
It don't make
Five,
sense to me.
I apologize. It don't make sense.
What do you want, Magic Worthy?
Maybe you should read up on their stats and maybe it make more sense.
I don't have to. I watched them for 4 straight years.
Then you should know. You should see it with your own 2 eyes.
Yeah, I did. I seen
One
greatness.
One is 2 for 2.
So what duo?
The other one is 1 and 1 after the first 2 years together.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
It's that CTE kicking him.
LeBron and D Wade lost the first year and they won the second year. Right? So that make them 1-1.
Well, he one of those.
Steph and Durant are 2-0.
They have a
Like,
way
they
better stacked team. Like,
Look, I'm not arguing that, but what I'm arguing is that they're better as a combination. Them 2 are better than.
It ain't about the combination
D-Wade.
when Klay Thompson goes off for 40 points in the game and then
we're
Durant only
forgetting-
scored 18.
You really think Pippen and Jordan? Would you take Pippen and Jordan over Kobe and Shaq? Kobe and Shaq, man.
I'm biased.
Dominant force.
You're biased, but I'm just saying, like Kobe
Stop.
and Shaq.
I'm not taking nobody over the Bulls. Over 96. No, it's not happening. Doesn't matter what you say. We're not taking no one over Jordan and Pippen.
That Shaq Kobe.
I seen Shaq and Kobe lose
That
together.
Shaq Kobe deal was nuts.
I seen Shaq and Kobe lose together. We never seen Jordan and Pippen lose
How
together.
many times they lose together? Once?
Who?
No, they
Shaq,
lost
I mean-
several times.
I mean-
Early
They
on,
lost twice
like in
at
the
least in the
finals.
finals.
you mean?
Yeah, in the finals.
They
Yeah,
did
like,
years they didn't
like,
get to the finals.
they-
That was after they
Listen,
added Karl Malone.
They were winning titles, not even liking each other. That's how good them 2 were. They weren't on the same page. If they were on the same page,
Well,
man, forget about it.
Shaq would come in out of shape too, and he had to work his way into shape. By
And he
game
thought
30.
he could. Like he
No,
felt
no,
like
that's
he
how
could.
great he
Like,
was.
Yeah, he felt like he was that dominant.
No, he was. That, but it's just you lose
could've
a
been
lot
better.
of great duos.
Like,
Like,
imagine how great he was. He could have been better.
Mhm.
Like that's
Right.
how great Shaq is.
Do
But
they beat the Bulls now?
who's checking Shaq? Luke Longley?
Don't matter now.
It does matter.
Don't matter.
who is
He's
God
looking
is
like
Shaq?
he's looking like Matumbo out there
You-
trying
nah,
to guard.
Yeah, you got Luke Last who's going to be checking.
And what
him.
happened?
But you're
He's not
asking.
checking Shaq.
They're going to double team. They're going to hack a Shaq, whatever they got to do. But they don't beat Jordan.
When Jordan came back,
Look, I can't go against a guy that's never
yeah,
lost
yeah.
in the finals.
When Jordan-
How can you go against a guy that's never lost?
When
When
Jordan
Jordan
came
came
back,
back-
what happened?
what happened when they faced the Magic?
Penny and
Are
Shaq.
you listening?
Are you listening?
I asked you a question.
Has Jordan ever lost in the finals?
No, but he was stopped from going to the
So
finals.
you're going to take...
Who stopped him from going to the
Overvalue
finals?
that. You overvalue that a lot, man.
Overvalue what?
If you lose in
I
second
feel
round...
LeBron gets stopped. I still think he's one of the greatest
If
players.
you lose in the second round, it counts just as bad as losing in the finals.
It does not.
Yes, it does. You lost.
Tracy McGrady's never even been out of the first round.
He's a loser.
But he's still Hall of Famer, is he not?
He lowered the bar.
How much time we got here?
Let's get a credit lab. We got 5 minutes.
Hey, before we move on, 'cause I do want to end on a local topic here. So, if anyone is in need of credit repair, building credit, business loans, counseling, contact the Credit Lab in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. You can contact them for a free consultation at www.thecreditlab.com. You can follow the Facebook page at the Credit Lab, and you can give them a phone call at 717-509-8899. You can be from Lancaster to California, Lancaster, Pennsylvania to California. You can still reach out to them for their help. And if you mention you heard them on the Opinionated Facts Podcast, you get $50 off your startup fee.
Yo,
I see you
Tim,
laughing on that.
Tim Goodson, man, commented, Iris and Matumbo.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man, that's funny.
All right, now this is our last show of the year. We won't be recording next week, so we're all going away and enjoying the holiday. So we had a great first year with you guys. Before we get out of here, we have a bit of a local, let's say a local discussion here. The McCaskey High School football job is open.
First of all, I want to shout out Kiki Jefferson for scoring 2,000 points.
That's another big shout out.
We did post it on our Facebook and all that, but we should have shouted that out.
Yeah, shout out to Kiki. Man,
Definitely
that's
shout out.
Seventh player, I think.
Friend of the show, Kiki Jefferson, scored her 2,000th point on Friday.
I don't know the stat. Was it seventh player in the LL League?
It might have
Or
been
seven?
Friday.
It was something about 7 players have done that. I don't know if it's LL League or...
Yeah, seventh player in the LL League.
Okay, well, congrats to that. And, moving forward to James Madison. But I want to know the McCaskey head football coach.
What do you think McCaskey needs to be successful? Because they haven't had a winning record probably in
2006.
How many
2006?
winless? They had a couple winless.
I think it was Coach Monzon's first year.
Made the playoffs at like what? When they went like 4 and 6.
Yeah, they won 4-6 and made the playoffs that year. I was on their staff, so I'm gonna be quiet on that. But
he got so heated when I said that they were trash.
but like we see the surrounding areas, we see more of a, like Coatesville area has a real good football program in their inner city, as well as like Harrisburg, who went to the state final this past year. York High won 10 games and lost in the game to get to the district championship. How did Lancaster fall so far behind in high school?
In my humble opinion, I could be wrong. They need authenticity. Like a lot of these kids, we're not the worst. Like not that you need to rank them. York, Harrisburg, like there's a lot of bad things going on in Lancaster. With these kids they got to deal with at home.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't just plug and play. Like some coach, you might know football, you might not. It's deeper than football. Like I can only speak to my experience when Coach Feldman was there. We ran through a wall for that guy. Like it was bigger than football, and you just felt like somebody genuinely cared about you. Like that whole staff, that people were just there for you outside of football. They're asking you about if you're messing up, your grade ain't what you should be. They're on you.
I still talk to like a lot of them coaches on that staff. They're like lifelong friends, so I still talk to them like daily.
But it starts with the programs, like the midget program, like the McCaskey feeder, whatever you want to call it, feeder program, like it.
The Junior Tornado program.
Junior Tornadoes, like it leaves a lot to be desired. Like I don't, but I'm speaking from the outside. I don't have a kid that's played in that system. It's just as an observer, like it's just.
And that program just got taken over. They just got started back up by the Lancaster Recreation.
That doesn't happen to Central. That doesn't happen to all these other teams. So it's kind of like, is it somebody's, like, can you pinpoint somebody and say this is your fault? No. As a community, like, we have to start from that level
And get on the same page.
get on the same page. You need somebody that's going to be in them hallways with them kids. Not saying that coach wasn't, but
that's the biggest issue, though. They don't have enough staff members inside that school.
I think they need more players that played there that know the program, that've been part of the program when it was a winning program.
The people in the hiring process need to know what McCaskey's about.
At the end of the day,
we're not going to call certain people out, but there's certain people, at least one person that I'm disgusted is a part of the hiring process. I say that off air, or I say it on there. I don't care.
I mean, I kind of want to know who you're talking about, but I don't.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Hey, but you know who it is. And,
I don't.
Well, you're gonna know off air.
No,
I'm not gonna do that because I respect me. I don't
know what he's talking about, but
you don't.
Man,
if I said the name, you would agree.
He could quiet you like Trump.
It's us men. Us men need to get out.
Nah, man, don't do it. Whatever. Yo.
No, but like that's. I mean, he's talking facts there. I think from the midget program on up, whoever gets this job needs to get everybody on the same page. When Fell was probably the last successful coach that was there for had more success than 1 or 2 years.
And he left with DeVere.
But like, even that said, like Fell wasn't a community guy. Fell came from Harrisburg, but he just brought in a great group of coaches with him, and he was authentic. You know what you got. You know you still with Fell.
That was the difference with those coaches, though. They actually cared.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing now. Like, we don't know you have enough people that are going to come in there and actually care. McCaskey has no shortage of athletes.
No.
I mean, the talent is there. Maybe not the interior line and all that, but the talent is there. They can win games, but they don't have enough people to actually care what's going on.
And like when Dustin Salisbury was on the show a couple months ago, he said like Coach Powell wasn't the best coach, but he knew that he cared, and he knew that Coach Powell would do anything for him, so that would make him run through a wall for him, and play hard for him. And we didn't get that with the last coach that they just had there.
I remember the guy's
Spencer, the football coach that was there to resign. No disrespect to that, I don't know him personally, but he was kicking guys off the team left and right.
Oh, really?
But did he ever go and try to find out what's really going on with these kids? Like, if there's something going on outside the field, like why are these kids acting a certain way? I don't think he's doing that.
Maybe
he may not
understand.
understand.
Thing is just you don't understand. So
he may not understand. So I don't know. I'm not saying he wasn't a good coach or whatever. I don't know the guy, like I said, but it just seemed like we didn't have a staff there with him that actually cared about what's going on.
And that's like a big thing too. Like when you're running this city program, you got to be recognizable in the city. Like Coach Spencer could have walked around the city and nobody knew who he was. Like Cal Everett, like he's one of the guys that watched the show. Harrisburg head football coach who just won the state title. He walk around Harrisburg and everybody knows who he is. Like that's the head football coach. And he's putting kids in school, and that changes things too. Like when you're putting kids in colleges, that changes things. And now they see a way out. They see a way out of their circumstance. That's what we saw. We saw like, oh man, like we can get up out of here. Like it's not just about playing football and going home. Like we can go. Same thing with like Matt Ortega in Coatesville. Like he walks around town, they know that's the head football coach. You got to be recognizable in this city, and you got to be able to get out there so these younger divisions, the junior tornadoes, can see you come up and know that you're the guy.
Right.
Ortega's loved down there too. We get some of his players up here, Stevens, and they absolutely love that guy.
Yeah.
Right, he was my wide receiver
this
coach.
guy actually drove a student from down there up here just for camp when we opened up camp. Make sure he got in the dorm room and okay and all that. Like
when you talk about
that's what I mean. Like a guy, somebody that cares.
It just comes off like you can say you care, but speaking on the Harrisburg coach, like I think with old age I'm getting emotional, like more times than not. But honestly, when they lost that state title game and they hear just how he talked to his kids after the game, like coach speak is coach speak, but that was just genuine and from the heart. I got a little teary eyed, and I admit because he just speaks from a place where he's one of them. Like when and I'm granted he had issues with his kids, maybe he kicks guys off his team, but it comes off a different way when a coach, you can tell a coach genuinely cares about you, and McCaskey needs to get back to that. You don't just give the keys to whomever, and but they just want to keep being the Cleveland Browns of the local scene, and it sucks because I want to be proud of where I went to school at, and be able to talk about and want to go to games. Now I avoid it.
Exactly, like you want to see.
And it's not state titles. It's not like that. you get lucky and you get a select group of talent together at one time.
To get to see that mechanic, you used to have to be at that gate by 6 o'clock.
Right.
And that's a big stadium. You used to be there by 6 o'clock to get an okay seat if you wanted to be in the stand or something. Now, you can go there at halftime. You can sit anywhere you want. And it's just like, damn, it's comfortable.
I know back when, somebody just asked, one of our comments was, what is the cost to play youth football? And
That's crazy.
and it's pretty expensive.
It's pretty expensive
but,
all over the board, though.
But then I think the Lancaster Rec has a voucher program. So if you can show that you get free or reduced lunch, you get half price off or whatever the discount is that they choose. But like going back to Matter-Tager, like I was a pretty good high school football player, and I wouldn't have been.
Were you?
But like that was pretty good.
Don't disrespect.
No, I want to. He said it confidently. I respect it. I don't hear him talk like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
When you said it,
no,
like,
I don't.
really?
Oh, I didn't mean no disrespect by it.
No, but I was like, I never talk about myself, but like I'm gonna tell you why. So it's not really about me again. Like I was pretty good, but I wouldn't have been if it wasn't for like a Matter-Tager was picking me up at 6 a.m. in the morning, taking me to workouts in the gym where we're practicing running routes. He lived in Harrisburg at the time. That means he's waking up at 5 or leaving his house by 5 to get down here to pick me up and be at the gym by 6. So like stuff that was happening then, you're like, yo, I would do anything for that guy. To this day, if Coach Tager called me, I'm doing anything for that guy. So like stuff like that is what a McCaskey program needs.
What if he asked you to hang out with Dwight Howard for the night?
Almond Brown.
Hey there, Almond Brown. Looking on Almond.
You have to have a good reason to do it. But with that said, I hope they do find somebody that cares, and if anybody listens to this podcast, make sure you share it and tag the people who are involved in the hiring process. And you know,
tag the guys that I hate too. Tag him.
You refer B-Way in there?
For what?
He's a good coach.
Yeah, B-Way
up
humble,
in
man.
there. You can get a good group in there. Start young.
Yeah.
By the time our youngins get up there, see, the program will be already there. It'll be done. It'll be set.
I don't know about that.
Is that something that they post like on Indeed or something?
Yeah,
They definitely posted it.
Send that resume in, B.
Come on,
No,
man. You the local hero.
I'm not a local here. I'm not. Like I said, I'm just pretty good. And
I mean, better than some of these other options.
He still doesn't talk about himself.
hey man, we're getting up out of here, man. Hey, thanks for everybody for listening. You guys had a great. You guys were great, and thank you for following us.
How you know they're great, man? We ain't even read nothing, you know. No, go ahead. I'm just saying.
So we had. You guys were great throughout the year before I was really cut off. I want to thank you for supporting us all year. And next time we'll see you is January something.
2019.
Yes, 2019. So make sure everybody has a great holiday. Whatever you celebrate it well. Celebrate with your family. Celebrate in love. The rest of the shows today. Say Less is taking their holiday break today, so they won't be on. The Queens of Raw Royalty will be on. And Sit Down with the Johnsons are on a holiday break too. So it's just the Queens that are coming on later. Shout outs before we get up out of here, fellas.
Like I said earlier, planning a birthday party. So shout out to Aiden, 10 years old, man. Hope you enjoyed your day yesterday, man.
Definitely. My son had a good time, man.
Well, shout out to my son. His birthday's today, 10 years old. And you know, we had a great time this weekend. We got a little more activities today, and you know, Merry Christmas.
Dixon.
Hey, shout out to all the vets out there. Reach out to someone. Holidays are the longest time of the season. High suicide month. So shout out to everybody out there going to do something.
I definitely understand that.
Mental health.
Yeah. I knew that's where that was going.
Dixon, not Dixon. Dwayne on the boards. Any shout outs, man? Since you said that we don't
no sir
shout much.
I'm
no
good.
shout outs to nothing.
Nope.
Nothing in life.
Life is good.
Christmas, 2 days of Christmas, man.
Life's good. I'm
Shout out
blessed.
to your brother, man. I'll do it for you. I don't know his name now. I know you my whole life and I don't know your brother's name.
That's pretty weird.
Terrible.
That's pretty weird.
Nothing. Good brother's a
Shout somebody out.
I know. Brother's a good dude.
I thought something was going on.
Shout out to him too.
I thought something was going on too, man. I ain't know.
Hey, you gotta see his brother's waves, yo. We gotta get a picture hanging up
Yeah.
with the waves. It looks like a hairpiece. You just put it on. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
My son's trying to get him now. I can't even get him his right.
Processing.
Yeah. So anyway, shout out to the 7 Letter family on my end. Make sure you keep supporting TCP. Make sure you keep supporting Opinionated Facts. We're live from TCP Studios, and we're out of here. Make sure you follow on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever else we're on. YouTube. Make sure you go subscribe to our YouTube page as well.
Yeah, please do. I don't get on none of that stuff.
Big things coming in 2019 for Opinionated Facts. So make sure that you guys stay tuned. We're out of here. Peace.
No, it's too late. Cut it off. Cut it off.
Cut it off.
Cut it off.
Nope, y'all
There we
good.
go. Stay laid up, stay prayed up, stay out the way, and listen to what some old folks have to say. See you guys next year. Holla.